Hey, everybody. Thank you for joining us today. I am super excited and very humbled to be talking about the networking effect with you guys. So I know that this personally is something that's very, it's very attributable to my story and why I'm sitting here. And so being able to sit with both of you today, these two wonderful powerhouse women that have really shepherded me through my story and through my journey. I cannot be more grateful. And again, I cannot be more humbled to sit here and be able to have this conversation with you. As I was kind of going through and preparing and really thinking about what I wanted to say today and how I wanted to kick this off and frame this conversation, I ran over this quote, and it's by Michelle Janae. And it says, networking is not about just connecting people. It's about connecting people with people, people with ideas, and people with opportunity. And this rung so true for me. Just a little bit of background on how I got asked to be here. So thank you for that. So fresh-faced in my career. I'm going to say fresh-faced, not young in my career because I'm still there. But fresh-faced, probably a couple years in. I attended an event. I attended an opening event, a keynote speaker at G2E. And that's how I really heard about GGW. That's how I got into the realm of what this organization is. I remember sitting there and watching these women that are very, very obviously excited about this keynote speaker and having this main stage and being in front of all of these people at G2E. And I remember after the keynote speaker, I went down and I talked to a few people, right? Because that's what we do, right? We're infectious, we're inviting, like everybody wants to be around us, right? And like any excited, charged individual that wanted to be a part of the organization, I talked to a few people and I did nothing with it. It was great. It was great. We all have those stories, right? And a little while later, so I continued to do things with the organization. I applied for different opportunities. I attended different events and those types of things. But what really set the stage for me was understanding that I had the opportunity to move to Vegas. And I had no friends. And so my fresh-faced self decided that I was just going to get on the GGW website and I was just going to email the president and the executive director at the time and ask them to be my friends. which is incredible to me, that, you know, I'm probably 3 years, maybe 4 in my career at this point in time. And man, what is that? What confidence, what a crazy idea. Anyway, so I did this, right? And the emails that I got back were just welcoming and inviting, and it was a heck yes. It was a heck yes. We want to connect with you. We want to be your friend. We want to invite you to Vegas, right? And so I said, cool, let's set something up when I'm in town, kind of scouting the area. And it was June of 2018, in which we had our first Panavino happy hour. And of course, in comes walking Christie Eickelman and Tina Kilmer. I'm not going to lie to you, ladies. I had no idea who you were. I had no idea outside of the fact that you wanted to be friends with me and you were showing up to this mixer, right? Or you were showing up to this happy hour. And you both were so kind. You were so kind. You were so supportive. And we just laughed and we chatted. And I'm sitting here with all of this imposter syndrome going, wait a second. Because I'm hearing your backgrounds and I'm hearing who you are. And I'm going, what did I just do? And honestly, it was the best thing I could have ever done. And so for me, that point was so pivotal in my GGW career and my trajectory, because I had made friends with these women that wanted to support me, all because I asked for a networking opportunity, right? So I cannot be more honored and privileged to have both of you today. and to be able to talk with both of you today. So I'm going to do a little bit of background for those of you, for everybody that doesn't know. So we have Christie Eickelman. She is currently serving as the VP of Global Marketing for GLI. She has over 20 years of gaming experience. And as I'm, you're sitting there and you're going, wow, great, that's impressive for one. But one of the things that kept recurring in kind of my research and my prep was passion for giving back to her community, blazing a trail for women to follow. And I think that's heavily supported by the awards that you've received, the advocacy positions that you've held, the invitations to be on boards. Chrissy, you just ooze, I just want to be there and support and help. It's clear that you're a friend. It's clear that you're a mentor. It's clear that you're a cheerleader. And I just want to thank you for that.
Could you follow me around every day now and just say that?
I would love to.
Right.
I would love to.
Okay, she's my self-help book right now. Yeah.
Oh, man. And then Tina, holy cow. I don't even know what to say. Golly, your tenure and your career over the gaming, well, several other industries as well, which I did find out that was a surprise to me. You not only have 20 years of gaming experience, over 20 years of gaming experience, but you also are a registered professional engineer.
Yeah.
What? That, I'm not gonna lie, that surprised me. I did not know that. And again, I think it's just another attribute of what kind of woman you are and these spaces that you've put yourself in, and to, again, trailblaze, right? So one of the things that stood out to me is she's an experienced leader who has built and managed high-performing global teams who delivered operational excellence with integrity and trust. And it gives me goosebumps when I read that out loud because it so rings true to who you are and what you bring. And again, so many accolades, right? So you're an author. You've also received several awards across the industry. You also have served in several advisory roles. And I'm blessed. I'm very blessed to have a woman like you in my corner. And again, cheerleading, advocating, sponsoring for me as we move through here. So just an amazingly talented human being. And so thank you.
Thank you.
So with that, let's get back to our topic. Let's talk about GDW. So, all right. So kind of my first question, and Christy, I'm going to throw this to you first, right? GDW is really focused around programming. Mm-hmm. That has been the core. That's the center. That's what we lead with every single day, right? And can you kind of paint the picture for where we started? Like, where did it all begin?
So it was an interesting journey. So in the early days, around 2015 into 2016, the AGA, American Gaming Association, had spun up Global Gaming Women and had started holding events at G2E. So they kept it very Las Vegas centric and did beautiful things. So they had lunches, they had lunch and learns, they had keynote speakers that came in and spoke. And how I engaged in this was someone invited me, just like you. They invited me to a lunch. And I went to the lunch and I heard the keynote speaker. And I said to myself, I need to be involved in this. Because being in the industry for as long as I was in the industry, you always sometimes felt like alone as a woman in the industry. But when you walked into that room and you witnessed how many women were sitting in there listening to this, that were invited in, I was like, I can do this. So that's how I identified that I wanted to be part of this. But then it parlayed into something more after the AGA turned this over to now what is known as Global Gaming Women, with a group of women who took this organization and made a board and a plan and identified where we had gaps. Would you agree with that, Tina?
Exactly.
So I think then at the beginning, we knew we needed help. So that's volunteers, committees, and things like that. So Tina and I were put in charge of the events and conferences committee. We needed volunteers, so we went out and we were very lucky. We found 14 women that were willing to come along on this journey with us, that had not only the reach here but a global reach. So it was working with them, working with the producers of the events and the trade shows, that kind of parlayed us into more than just being at G2E. And we brought in experts. The thing that I was really proud of is we brought in experts from outside of the gaming industry that had experienced the same thing. So it instilled that voice for women, that everyone deserved that chair at the table, no matter what industry you were at, what boardroom you were walking into. So I think that was really important to us. And then we covered topics that were important to women's career paths. Mm-hmm. So we brought, to negotiate for yourself for salaries, to negotiate for yourself for promotions, it was about that confidence that we wanted to instill on women.
Absolutely.
So that was our journey. And I'm sure Tina can add a lot more to what I was just talking about.
Of course.
Yeah, we had 12 to 15 conferences and trade shows that we covered per year with different programs and events. And we covered all the Americas, all Europe, Asia, South Africa, Australia. So these women who came in, I mean, they just became a part of us. I mean, we were one, and they were very kind to share, like Christie said, all of these growth and different topics. But I think the other thing is they shared themselves and their journeys, and I think that really made a big difference in some of the things that we were offering.
Well, and I think what was really lucky for us is that with our volunteers came along their companies. Mm-hmm. So their companies were very supportive, and I was very lucky. Gaming Laboratories International supported me through this whole journey. Whatever I needed, the time I needed, the dedication that I needed to put forth to the organization, I was afforded that. So that made a huge amount of difference. And I think that's what made our women for events and trade shows, because it was a lot of travel, mm-hmm. and it was a lot of planning, and it was, we didn't get a lot of yeses at the beginning.
Really?
Yeah, because trade shows had their schedules and their conferences and things like that. So what we did is we spun up our own events. So we did Power of the Suit and Power of Technology. Yeah. Which were produced by our volunteers. And we had a handful of sponsors, which our sponsors were so important, that really believed in our organization, that came alongside us. And to this day, most of those sponsors are still with GGW. So Absolutely. I think that says a lot for the organization.
Well, I think it says also a lot for you guys as well. I mean, you're the founders. You have walked in, you've walked the walk, you've talked the talk, you've laid the foundation, and you are all still very involved in the organization. And I think that speaks volumes, because I'm sure that you have relationships now that you would have never thought you had in 10 years, right? Like it's a very interesting concept when you think about it. And you had to go through those hard times, and you had to go through all of those no's. So thank you for keeping on pressing the door open.
Oh yeah, we weren't giving up.
No.
Yeah, we were not going to give up at all.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, we were a force, I think, individually, but all together, it was amazing. It is amazing.
Yes, I would agree. Absolutely. Absolutely. So as we're kind of moving in, right? So we talked a little bit about the origins in the beginning, right? So as we're moving into 10 years, right, as a standalone organization, what is the visibility like now as you're looking around, you're seeing all of these women that you have directly had a hand in developing and pursuing and getting involved, right? What does that look like for you? What's the visibility like? Tina.
Well, for me, I'll just share that in the early days, one of our initial goals was to increase visibility and diverse representation on by having a woman on every panel in industry events. So if you just think about that for a moment, that would, I started thinking about it the other day when I was looking at this. I said, oh my gosh, we have come a long way. I mean, it wasn't easy at first. I mean, Christie will tell you, we had a lot of passionate discussions amongst ourselves and with others, our trusted partners, and like Christie said, our sponsors. And, we were included in those trade shows and conferences, and our content and our representation really did fill the gaps, to sort of speak. And our reputation really grew and solidified. So we not just broadened the faces of these panels, having women on the panels, but as keynotes, and having, like you said, the GGW select panels and programming. And, we kept it timely, and they were always growth driven. And I'd say to me, they were inspirational. And I think that was a big part of what we wanted to accomplish.
Absolutely.
Well, we got to a point. So we used to, historically at G2E, we'd have the Monday before G2E. And that's where we rolled out a lot of our really critical keynote speakers. We had October 1 happen to us along the way. Roberta Perry was our keynote speaker, and she was kicking off G2E literally. And she had to completely pivot. We had to pivot how we did that day. We had a lot of compelling speakers, but they were so professional, and the moderators did such a great job on working in compassion, and everyone really looked out for each other that day. Yeah. So it was a heavy lift for that year. And then all of our rooms were sold out. They were full. It was standing room only.
Right.
So for G2E, we decided we're going to go to the organizers, which were very open to our idea, and get these sessions into the normal lineup of all the sessions that people were going to during the day. But then we didn't want to leave anyone behind, so we spun up some other events, which other groups are going to talk about. But we wanted to make sure that we would reach an audience of CEOs down to anyone in any level in the organization, so that they had the opportunity to come and be at a GGW event. And then I think with the support of the Oklahoma Indian Gaming Association, Southern Gaming was still around then, so the Mississippi Gulf Coast was very important to us. ICE was very important to us. One year we cut the ribbon. GGW cut the ribbon.
Really?
And opened up the trade show.
Yes.
So
it was great.
Yeah, we had a lot of influence
incredible.
In that. And then Indian Gaming Show, Canadian Gaming Show, and then SBC.
Yes.
Our volunteers came in on that, and they were like Tina was talking about, global. It was global.
Yep.
Wow.
It's a full-time job, and these women, they were all in.
Yeah.
I truly can't imagine where we would have been at if any of you said, this is too much. So thank you for those contributions. Thank you for pushing forward, and thank you for continuing to drive and push forward today. That doesn't stop, right? And you're passing down all of this wisdom and all of this information to the younger ones of us that are floating through this organization and trying to really press forward and make even more change. What advice do you have for the board? What advice do you have for those of us that are passionate, fresh-faced in our career, that think that they can email the president and ask for a happy hour at Panavino? Like, what is your advice for them? So, Christie, you want to?
Well,
Tina? Yep, go ahead.
Yeah, no, go ahead, Christie, you go first.
I would say that you need to rely on the women that you're on the board with.
Yeah.
Tina and I were very lucky because if we needed something, we knew who we could go to on the board.
Absolutely.
And it was not just needing something for a sponsor or needing something for an event. We sometimes needed a pep talk. And I'm not going to lie, some of the women that were on the board with us back then could give some really good pep talks. So there was no standing still. We were moving forward.
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of what kept us going. And we really relied on each other. And sometimes we didn't agree. And you know what? Sometimes boards are not going to agree and you're going to have different opinions. But at the end of the day, we always came to an agreement, and it was for the betterment of the organization. Wouldn't you agree with that, Tina?
Absolutely. And, besides that, look at all the volunteers and all the voluntold.
Yes.
It made
Correct.
made a huge difference.
Correct.
I love me being voluntold. It's my least favorite thing ever.
Yes, you have been.
But I do it with a smile, and I'm very grateful for it at the end of the day. So at least there's that.
Exactly. See, I mean, and I think for me, one of the things is we just have to continue to embrace the art of quick pivots to continually evolve. I mean, I see this in the organization, and doing that and responding to our members and our sponsors is extremely important. And, just serving from your heart, and do it with passion and humility, because we just got to remember why we started all this and continue on. Christie, you have something else before I say mine?
Oh no, I'm good. I'm actually, this exercise for, I think Tina and myself, we really did a deep dive into the very beginning and how this all came about. And if it wasn't for all the resources that we had, we were very lucky in our volunteers and even the men that came alongside of us, because there was some heavy lifting. We did small events at ICE at the beginning. There was like 6 of us, and they put us in a room, and now it's like inside the main program. Then Southern Gaming, we were very lucky on the Mississippi Gulf Coast. The Mississippi Gaming Association and that group really supported us, and we thrived, and we had great resources from our sponsors down there at the Scarlet Pearl and some of those. And we ended up having 350 women at a lunch. So, wow. And that was year after year until the show sadly dissolved, but they still are a strong membership on the Gulf Coast. So, because
Absolutely.
The GGW events that are moving and the networking events that are moving around, or the education and then the camaraderie afterwards, is huge.
Absolutely.
So,
absolutely. Well, I know you probably have a ton of successful networking stories. You heard mine already. But do either of you have a favorite one, or one that stands out the most to you as you've gone through your GGW journey? So, Christie, do you want to start?
So there's so many, but I think so we would have these events. So there's going to be 2 parts to this. So we had so many events that we would have the speakers, we would have the panels, we would have the questions from the audience, but we had a lot of women that were sitting in the room that didn't want to ask those questions in front of everyone. So I think most of my networking was after, if someone spoke, or if we were speaking, or, you know, we were the host in the room, they would come and have those conversations on the side. Then that parlayed them into, the first thing I would just encourage them to do was become a member. Go to the website, sign up, get involved. And then I think my second one for me personally was being invited to that first event in 2015.
Yeah.
Because the speaker was, I was like, I think I could do this. And then I was actually voluntold that I was going to become part of GGW. And so we've
been
all,
there.
We've all been there. We've all had our same journeys. But I was invited, and it was sitting with women that same thing, never thought I would be sitting at that table.
Right.
And it was very humbling. It gave me a lot of confidence. And it really helped me, like you said, become a passion of mine.
Yeah.
And people can say they win awards, and they do these things. So when we win awards, I was surprised, because I was just doing what I liked to do and giving back.
Absolutely.
That was my main focus. And still being involved is very, very important to me,
Absolutely.
because I want to talk to those women that are standing in the wings,
Yeah.
that want to be included. I think that's it for me. There's a lot.
I've already got
I
goosebumps.
know.
So Tina, I'm getting ready for some more goosebumps. So let's hear it.
No, I totally agree with Christie. And I think to add on to that, some of our biggest success, truthfully, is seeing women like you who attended and participated in these various GGW offerings. And look, you guys, and you've done these throughout the year, but now really you're the face of GGW. And that is what really brings me joy, honestly. I mean, you're the ones who are going to passionately grow the organization and, you know, support our members and our sponsors. So it's huge for me.
Well, and I think you're going to hear from a lot of other women in this series that we're doing for the 10-year anniversary for Global Gaming Women. And they're going to share some of the same passions, conversations. Their versions are going to be a little bit different because we all are different individuals.
Absolutely.
But we took this organization through COVID, right? And we spun up virtual learning, and we spun up webinars, and we didn't want to leave women behind. They were going through so much, layoffs, furloughs, that type of thing. G2E took their programming online to a webinar. They didn't leave that show behind, and they brought us into their program.
Absolutely.
And we spoke about the, you know, being compassionate for people and that type of thing. However, negotiating for yourself, being self-aware, don't let your employer leave you behind in all of this.
Right.
Or it might be a new opportunity for you to go out and find something different to do. So we brought in guest speakers. We did a lot of, so the education committee is going to, when they do their part, they're going to talk, I'm sure, a lot about some of the things that they did. And we cross silos. That's the thing about GGW. You have to cross silos.
All the time.
Yeah, you have to cross silos into different committees because there's a lot of synergies
Absolutely.
between all of them. And I think that's what the current board and people moving forward will be very valuable to them, and strategic planning.
Yeah.
And you can't do it all.
No.
And everyone's going to have a suggestion, and some of the things that we didn't work. Oh, well, we just spun it up a different way. So,
Right.
yeah.
Yep, we pivoted.
Oh,
We were really good at pivoting.
Pivot.
Yeah, we were.
It's true.
Yeah.
And I think also, you know, everyone just has to be a Christie, you know? with open arms, and she just tells them and shows you, we got you.
An overwhelming heck yes.
Why not is my saying. Yeah.
Yeah. And again, it's, again, I teared up a little bit. I'm not going to lie, Tina, while you were talking about these things. But again, just reflecting on my journey, right? You too were instrumental in me sitting here today and having these opportunities that I would have not gotten if I had not 2 or 3 years into my career emailed and said, will you be my friend? And it's funny how something so little can mean so much. And I think ultimately, showing up at the events, showing up at the programming, participating, asking, can I be here? And when you receive an overwhelming heck yes, it changes lives. It really changes lives. So, again, thank you for all of your passion and your energy and your tears and all of the things, that the blood, the sweat, the late nights, the early mornings, I don't think I can do this, all the pep talks. I could go on and on and on. But because of you ladies, because of what you've done, you have set a stage for folks to have, people to be connected with people, people with ideas, and people with opportunities. And I personally cannot thank you enough for that. One question that I always like to do when I talk to folks, and I do this in my interviews, I do this in my summary recaps with my team. I ask one random question.
Are you ready? Here she comes.
And sometimes I'm a little off the wall, but I did promise you both that it would not be super far out of the park. But my question to you, so let's start with Tina. My question to you, do you believe in luck, timing, or just hard work, and why?
I think it's all of those, and it's an intuition. When you meet the right people and you're talking with folks and that it's the right thing to do. And you just have to follow your heart and use, is it luck? Maybe. There's a little of that, there's timing. It's all one. You are where you're supposed to be. So for me, it's all.
I love that. Well, you got a few minutes, so you get to go next.
Okay, so what was the question again?
Do you believe in luck, timing, or just hard work, and why?
So like Tina said, I believe in all of them. I feel like we were very lucky to have the support behind the scenes for GGW along the way. And then timing, the timing was perfect for this organization to be spun up. The opportunity was there. The opportunity was presented to a group of us. And then the hard work, you have to put in the hard work.
Yeah.
And if you're not willing to do that, all the luck in the world is not going to get you there. And timing has a lot to do with what's going on in the world. I mean, because there's a lot going on. And I think where GGW really fills that gap is it gives women an opportunity to be part of an organization where if they feel like they're sitting in the back row, somebody's going to invite them to the front row.
Absolutely.
And that was mine and Tina's goal. Is if we were in an event or if we were speaking at an event and someone was in the back row, we always went in and introduced ourselves. We moved them up. We introduced them to other women or men, whoever, because we had a lot of advocates.
Yeah.
And we were very lucky to have the sponsors that believed in us
Right.
at the very beginning.
Yeah.
And being with a group of women, I mean, we're all doing these different things, and same things that GGW is now individually, again, but together, it was like a big sigh of relief, right? That you had all this additional support around you, that that you can move forward and someone to bounce and really be together and bring other women with us.
Wonderful. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you for being our moderator.
Oh, thanks for choosing me.
Thank you.
Thanks for letting me be your friend.
We knew after we met you that first time, we both left and said, oh, she's one of us.
Oh, thank you. Well, I think that's a wrap, ladies. So
Thank you. Thank you for moderating.
absolutely. Anytime.